Hello everyone, today I will teach you how to create a lab for your penetration testing training. This lab will serve for network penetration testing as well as the web penetration testing. So for that we'll be using a virtualized software called VirtualBox, and the vulnerable machine what we are going to use is Metasploitable 2 and Metasploitable 3. Okay, so Metasploitable 2, this is a Linux based machine, and Metasploitable 3, this is a Windows based machine. And we'll be using Kali Linux or Parrot Linux. Apart from that, we'll be also using Bbox. Though we have many web applications for vulnerable web application for pen testing or vulnerability assessment, and Bback they provide a very good vulnerable web application wherein we can test many of the scenarios in Bbox. So this is again a Linux based machine. So this will be a victim one. This will be victim 2. This will be our victim 3, and this will be our attacker machine. And the network what we are going to use is bridge network. So as I discussed in the previous classes, if not, please check my old videos or previous videos. So the bridge network, my virtual boxes, all these virtual machines, they get the IP from the router itself. That means these virtual machines, virtual victim 1, victim 2, 3, and attacker machine, they will be an independent machine on my local network. So this also includes all my other machines like a TV, a fridge, and other electronic smart devices which got a IP address. Kali Linux can see them as well. So here the intention is we will be scanning only this system and will be excluding scope and scope exclusion. So this system will be in the scope, and again we have one more, we can say home devices. Okay, so this includes my smart TV and mobile phones, other routers, CCTV, and etc. etc. So our scope will be these three missions. That means we have to do our network penetration testing as well as web and web. And scope, out of scope, means all these machines. This will be out of scope and we are not going to touch this. Now the quick question, quick information here. You need to understand whenever you send a say whenever you want to scan a particular machine, it might be anything. So when I say machine, any system which receives an IP. If a system is having an IP, then we can scan that. It may be your say smartphone, TVs, virtual machines, CCTV, my Ola bike, sorry, Ola scooter. Okay, so IP address is a layer 3. Okay, now you might be asking me, hey Nandkishore, can we connect with a layer 2 protocols, sorry, layer 2 mechanism? Yes, we can connect with a layer 2, something like we use MAC address for communication. It is very much possible. Okay. Now, so in this three system under network, what we scan, we scan, we identify the open ports. Okay. Then let me put it this way: open ports, services, and their version. Okay. Third one is operating system, OS. Okay, these are things we scan under network. And under web application, what we do? Okay, port, web port. So web port means the port where web application is running, port 80 or 443. And the application, entire application. Now let me simplify this. What exactly is this, Nankishore? Say for example, you go to a hotel. The hotel is having 10 rooms, and one of the room, some meeting, say for example, how can I put that, right? Yeah, one of the room the meeting is happening and other rooms are closed and few rooms are open, just open, there no activities happening. So if I want to do a network pen testing, right, I check how many rooms are there, how many rooms are open. If open, what are the services, what activities happening in the room. But under web application, I don't see if the I don't see whether some activity is happening in room until it's web application, some kind of activity which is confined to the web. So if that is the case, say for example in room number one we have some kind of meeting about web application, then we mark it as okay, room number one, there's a port, port number. Then what meeting is happening, who are the participants, okay, are there any vulnerable for the participant, all these things we look, we check in the network sorry, web application pen testing. So this is what we are going to test today, and the tools what we'll be using is for the network we'll be using nmap, is for manual scan, and plus we use nessus, automated scan. So this way you will be perfectly understanding what how we can do a manual scan of all the vulnerabilities in network system. In the same way, we have to scan the system using automated scanner. Now you might be asking me, hey Nankishore, we can do a manual, right? Why we want to go with automated scanner? Believe me, guys, automated scanner will go each and every portion of the network or application. Humanly, it is not possible, and there's a high chance we will be missing many of those locations. Okay. Now you might be asking me, hey, if that is the case, right? How come how you guarantee like automated scanner will scan all the all the portion of the web or the network? I don't guarantee, but again we have a kind of manual with the automated kind of approach wherein if it is a web server, web application, okay. Now, say for example, say it is a Amazon.com website. Okay, in that website, what I do is I log in. Then I click each and every link in the application. If I have mobile phone, yes, I click. If there's a TV link, I click. If there's a search window, I'll put some search. That means the whenever you're clicking, right, that means the automated scanner which is running in the in the background, it will notify the location. Yes, this guy has click on this link. Yes, I need to include that in scope. This guy has click in the text bar. So what we do is we click and check all the priority areas in the web application. In that case, in that scenario we don't miss any priority areas, and rest of the thing again the scanner will take care of it. So this is one, and again as I told you, uh, if you see the network pen testing, the earlier class, this one. So okay, let me snip. Okay, so we don't really care about the threat modeling piece. In the same way, post exploitation. It's all right. Cleaning is not our part. Then we left with this, okay. No, even for the penetration testing, we follow the same approach. First, this is a scope. So pre-engagement means it's all about scope. We don't SOW, sorry, not scope, SOW, wherein we define the scope. Information gathering, I told you, when we are doing in the when we are taking up the black box engagement, we do information gathering, which we discussed yesterday. So vulnerability assessment is something, vulnerability analysis or assessment, both are same, or vulnerability scanning. So all three are same, guys. Scan. So equal to vulnerability analysis. So all three are same here. So now you need to understand how the scanning works. How the scanning works. Just a minute, guys. Sorry for the guys. Now, uh, what exactly is vulnerability assessment, vulnerability scanning or analysis? How the process works. So how the process works means I use an automated tool to scan an IP or application. So when I give the target, when I click on the scan button, what will happen is the scanner will send huge number of traffic. Okay, some thousands of traffic simultaneously. All the traffic will hit the IP eventually. If any match happened, say for example, I'll say five simultaneous payloads to the system, and one of the payload says yes, I am very much you are compatible with me, the payload. Then we say yes, this is a weakness, and nine one they discard. But again, scanning will generate huge amount of traffic on the network, and that is the reason we always scan in the off peak time. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. Number two, Nan Kishore, what you said, like the organization do have Windows and Linux system. Okay, though in that case we need to do a scan for Windows and Linux system. Yes, the organization, they will give a separate list for Windows system as well as the Linux system. Now that's perfect. Now I can configure a scan for Windows system, and again I can create one more scan for Linux system. Number three, Nankishore, do we use just a scanner, just a scan, default scan, or we use any kind of authentication? Always remember, guys, this is very important part. When you scan, say for example, when you scan a Amazon.com site without username and password, so what will happen is the scanner will scan the unauthenticated part of it. It will not log in. But the hackers, they look for login, right? So always remember, you have to do a authenticated scan. That means you have to configure the username and password. There's a credentials in the scanner. Then the scanner will scan the internal portion of the application or the network. Number three, if that is the case, right, then if a normal user, they'll create a normal user and they'll give you, and you configure the user and you scan. That means the scanner will write lots of junk data if it generates huge traffic in the application, isn't it? Yes, it does. So that is the reason we need to tell the IT department to create a read-only user, not with the write permission, only with the read permission. In that case, the scanner, when it tries to write something, the permission won't allow, and you can get your job done. So always remember, we required a read only user for scanning. Read only. Now, For scanning a Linux system, what kind of username and password we create? Again, we are logging from remotely, right? See, for example, I have hundreds of systems in my company. Say, for example, my company is a small company, 100 systems. I have to configure the username and password in my scanner. So when you touch the, Linux machine, okay, so what will happen is it will create a kind of SSH connection to the Linux machine. It will log in, it does the work, and that's it. Once the work is done, it will come back. For Windows, it's a remote desktop. So when you're configuring the Linux machine or Unix machine or Mac machine, then you have to configure the SSH client, and for Windows, you have to configure SMB client. Okay, so that is about vulnerability analysis, guys. And moreover, vulnerability analysis will generate a huge traffic, so you have to be very careful. If you don't have proper hardware resource for your scanner, the scanner will crash. In the same way, if the server is not properly configured, okay, again the server will crash. Denial of service. Okay, it will bring down the server, and that is the reason they always say when you're scanning, scan wisely. Number three. So stay, number one, we are creating a separate scan for Windows system, separate scan for Windows, Linux system. Number two, then Kishore, do we create any template? Template means what? Template is nothing but set of rules. Okay, so my scanner, always remember the scanner do have default templates. I will be showing you in a minute. In the same way, the scanners do have customized template wherein we need to customize. Say for example, I am touching a Windows box. Okay, Windows was obviously all Microsoft dependent softwares. But even the default template says you have to scan, Linux, Mac, all these things. The template contains. Though we are separating the system, but the template contains all these checklist. So that means we need to duplicate the template, then remove all the things like Linux, Mac, everything. So two things. One is scanning. We are creating a separate scan template. We have to customize the template so that our target checklist should, confirm only the Windows vulnerabilities. The same thing for Linux. So we'll be doing, all the thing. We'll be scanning with the default template. We'll be scanning with the customized template. That is how it has to be. Okay. Let's, prepare the lab. This is my Windows machines. Okay. I'll be using Kali Linux or Parrot. Anything is fine. Let me stick with the Parrot. That's fine, guys. Network on what network have bridge network. That's fine. Okay. And this is my victim machine. Okay. By the way, if you want to create a vulnerable machine, one victim machine metasploitable 2, all you have to do is go to internet, metasploitable to download. You have search files, search for site. Just download this particular .zip file, which is 865 MB. Once you download that file, okay, where is this one? Yeah, live machine. Metasploitable to victim to victim probably, right? Yeah. Uh, where is it? Okay, I probably have deleted that probably. Just a minute, let me check in ISOs. Do I have any ISOs? Yeah. So all you have to do is just this is the Metasploiter 2. Just right click and extract. Okay. So we are not creating the virtual machine. Rather, we are using the existing virtual machine with all vulnerable items configured. Go back to your virtual box. You have to create a machine. Create a new machine. Say this is victim one folder. That is fine. This is a Linux machine. Next. Okay, that's fine. Hard drive. Here I need to attach the existing hard drive, which I will pick up from the folder wherein I have extracted it, right? Just a minute. This is an ISO, right? ISOs, yeah. Choose. Next. Next. That's all you have to do. Now I got my system. I can start the system, and eventually I can work. Again, I can configure that in the bridge network. put this bridge network. That will be a part of my local LAN. Check the RAM you can give 1 GB. Processor, one processor should be fine. You can say okay. The same way I have configured this, so I will delete this one. Okay, super. This is configured. Now coming to my victim 2, which is a Windows machine. So I need to download the Windows machine. How can I do that? So again, I will provide you the ISO. This is Metasploit 3 Windows machine. You will find lots of videos on the internet, and as well if you search on the internet, right? Say Metasploit 3 will be available in both the versions, Windows and Linux. So this is how you can, configure your entire Metasploit 3. Again, don't waste your time. Just read this particular GitHub page, but I will provide you the ISO. Now it is an appliance. We will import, the ISO. This scenario too. So this is for Linux user. This is for Windows user. That means you'll get a Linux system. You'll get a Windows system. Okay. So again, just go to this file, import appliance, and give the path where I have downloaded the Metasploit 3. That's it. When you click on import, it will import. Already I have imported. Let me get that. Already I have a existing VM. I can add in this way. Okay. Now I need to make the changes. I'll put in the bridge network, 2 GB RAM. I'll give 2 process. So that should be fine for this. Now I have what settings? Victim 2. Okay, and this will be my victim 1. So two systems are configured. Third system is go to this particular website, bbox ITC games. Yeah, this is the website. They do have a very beautiful, very beautiful wonderful web application, and we'll be downloading that. So one way you can configure, another way you can download the entire appliance. So I'll be downloading the entire appliance. Just download this. Again, come back to your system. I have already downloaded. Okay. Okay. Okay, probably I have just deleted. That's fine, no worries. We'll create. Okay. Okay, this is my .7z file. .7z file 1.6, same one. So what I do is I just extract, show more options. It'll take a minute. Again, it does have the hard drive, so you need to create a virtual machine, then attach the existing hard drive. So I'll go here. I'll create one more virtual machine. Victim 3. Okay, use the same folder. Is a Linux machine again. Next, I'll give 1 GB of memory, then 1 CPU. This one I use the existing hard drive. Okay, still extracting. Okay, got it. Choose next and next finish. Once my systems are inside the VM, now I need to do a little bit of network configuration. This network, that is it. And already I think RAM and CPU have configured. Yeah, RAM and CPU is configured. That should be fine. Now I turn on my machine. System victim 3 is up and running. So if you see the icon on this victim one, this is a Linux icon. You can see a penguin. Here's a Windows icon. It's a Windows machine. I'll start this as well. And I'll also start my parrot. Again, guys, you need to see your hardware, and you should be, you should what call, be cautious. You should have enough resource for your host system, which is Windows 11 laptop. So I'll just turn on this task manager. Series 64, this is fine. ITsec is up, and what we have to do is we have to identify the IP address of this machine. The command to identify IP address is ifconfig. So I got 51 for this. Okay, that's fine. And we can minimize, we don't require anything. Okay, and from my victim one, it's still loading. Okay, now if I go to the web browser on my Windows 11 laptop, as I told you, I put all the system on my local LAN. That means I can access this IP from any of my system. It might be my smartphone or my Windows laptop or my smart TV. So 192.168.1.51. Okay, so as B1, huh? That's fine. Okay, that's fine. The rest. And by the way, guys, all these vulnerable machines, you can use it for network as well as web purpose. That means even though you are scanning for network purpose, they do have vulnerable web application installed by default. Just what access the IP and you'll get the applications. Okay, you got 51 as well. That's fine. Okay, some kind of conflict. Let me configure the IP for this. Let me pause the video for a minute. Let me fix the IP address. Okay, guys, I'm back. I made a small change in the network. So instead of going with the what is that, bridge network, right? Network type, network setting, you can say. I changed it to NAT network because my some of my systems they do have static IPs, and there was some conflict with the IPs, so I don't want to disturb my local network. So I put everything on the NAT network. So my lab network, NAT network is the lab network. So lab network for all the four systems. I turned on four systems, two Linux and two Windows. So my Linux system is this attacker, and rest of the three are victim machines, which includes a combination of Linux and Windows. Okay, later, ask me later. That is fine, man. Okay, look at my CPU is 79. That's fine. Now, then Kishore, I really don't know the IPs. Your client will give you the IPs. No, I want to know on my own. Then you have a command called net discover sudo. This will give you all the live IPs in your network. And my network is 10.0.2.x. Okay, this is my network. So you have to see the first three octets. 10.0.2. It will identify because the registers are very small. So eventually it will identify. So for time being, if you ask me, close terminal or this, right, this one. So my victim IP is 10.0.2.4. I believe victim 1. Yeah, this is victim 1 2.4. My victim 2 is this is a victim 3, right? Victim 3 is 2.9. It's also fine. 10.0.9. And my victim 2 is Windows machine. And the IP is where is the Windows from this one? Yeah, answer 2.15. That's also fine. 15. And my attacker IP is 2.8. So we don't have this scenario. So all the systems can ping together because they are in the same network. Okay, and this will not disturb my net home network. This is a local LAN, and the scope is again the scope is all these three systems or the scope. I need to do a network and as well as web pen testing for this. And every system do have a network part as well as the what web part. So especially B box, I want to show you the B box. Let me go to this. Okay, 92. Sorry, 10.0.2. What is the B box? 9 was probably. Yeah, this is a web application, guys, I was talking about. So when you are doing your say pen testing, use this vulnerable machine because they do have a very good scenarios. The default username is B and bug B and bug bug login. So you have all the scenarios. See, each and every scenario, very much organized according to OAuth's top 10, but not the latest one, old one, very much prevalent in today's sorry world as well. Okay, your CSR, if your other attacks, and you can set the security level. So level 0 is a straightforward security within exploit. Level 2, that means you need to bypass. They do implement a kind of restriction, probably a client side restriction, which is very easy to bypass, or some kind of other restriction. Very high. This is something high. With many of the cases, it's reflects a real-time scenarios how your organization is configured. Again, you required sophisticated skills to exploit the high vulnerabilities, high level vulnerabilities. Okay, so for example, I want to check this HTML injection. Set low. You got HTML injection, kind of. What is this one? There you got a scenario. Now I want to set it to high. Same one. It will be very difficult to hack, but yes, you can hack, but it requires advanced level of practice. So this is about this, and we do have two more vulnerable missions, right? One is 10.0.2. I think 4. Okay, we have Metalliday. This is a very old and a very good one. We have Metalliday 2 and 3. I think probably this is a 2 version 2. Yeah, version 2. In the same way, we have DVWA. This is damn vulnerable web application. Okay, and username is admin. Password is password. Okay, again you can set the security level. Yeah, DVA security. You can set the security level. First try everything on low. Okay, and you can check every kind of thing, and whenever you want to try with DVW or anything, just reset the recreate the database, sorry, or reset the database. In the same way, we do have one more web dev. We have PHP myadmin. This is a page, I told you, right? When you host your website, the host provider, they will give you a username and password, and you can log in using this kind of interface, and within you can manage your entire website. I really don't know the password. Yes, we can find out the password. It's not a big deal. Okay, and we have one more system. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Okay, 4 is the one. 2.15, right? 2.15. 10.0.2.15. Okay, Windows system don't have any web application. It's just a Windows system, probably Windows Server system. So all these systems can be accessed using parent network. That means yes, they are connected now. I can literally scan, I can do anything. This is how you set up a lab for your practice. Number one, whenever you are setting up your practice, make sure you turn you plug in the power cable to your laptop. If especially you are working on a laptop, so this will give you extra boost for your laptop. Else all the load will be on the battery, and again automatically the system will get into the low performance mode. Number two, check the hardware, right? So I have a upper medium level CPU, not powerful, but yes, equal to powerful, 16 gigs of RAM. So I'm just playing around. I left 4 gigs of RAM for Windows. Okay, now my CPU utilization is 68, 58. If I start scanning, it will be more than that. And number three, put all the virtual machines in the same network for your practice. So the best CPU, if you ask me, one of our colleague, right? He called me and he asked me, "Hey, I'm going with some CPU. Can you suggest me a better one?" So again, nowadays we have Ryzen 7 series in the same way, Intel Core i13 generation and Ryzen 7th generation. Now, if you're getting a 12 generation for better, a price, go with it. 11 generation also fine, but again it is wise to get the latest generation. The reason is we will be keeping the laptop for at least 2 or 3 years. If you are a guy who frequently change the laptop, again it's totally depending on your budget, go with the laptop, but go with the laptop which supports the gaming functionality. So because when you say gaming functionality, they do have a powerful CPU and powerful RAM, Along with that, they do have a graphic card, inbuilt graphic card. Yes, do we require graphic card? It's totally different, guys. If you're cracking the password, then you can use graphic card. If not, not required, because mine is a very upper medium level CPU. Still, I can run 4 systems, and got Windows 11 as well. It's the 5 systems I'm running simultaneously. So this is all about your lab, setting up a lab for vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. And in the next video, we'll be doing network pen testing.